Hello, Rama Rama Pupodu. Hope all are in good health, feeling great, wonderful, having a happy and peaceful life. Now let's go to chapter 47. Next part. His next place of visit was Ernakulam. Here he spent a few days in the company of P. Sanjeev Rao and many other friends of the place, and then left for Kasaragod again. Of course, he occupied once more Anand Ashram situated in the calm retreat beyond the hills. The usual routine of the ashram life restarted. Krishna Bai paid her daily visits and did her selfless service in the ashram. A week after his arrival, Krishna Bai's brother-in-law, having returned from Europe, came to Kasaragod to take over his family, and Krishna Bai and her children to Dharwad. Really, it was a wrench for Krishna Bai so suddenly to tear herself off from her association with Ramdas and the ashram. At his request, she, however, departed with her brother-in-law and others. Before proceeding to narrate the events that followed, it is necessary that a word should be said relating to the intense life of self-sacrifice Krishna Bai led during his All India tour. Gurudev was bedridden, and Rukma Bai, owing to a severe attacks of asthma, was also in a similar condition. In these days, Krishna Bai's main life was spent in attending to the patients. As a nurse at the bedside of a sick person, she can be said to be rarely equaled. She would give herself away for this service, heart and soul. She tended both the patients 1,000 times more tenderly and carefully than their own mothers would. For the matter of that, her entire life is an embodiment of selfless service of all, irrespective of condition, person, time, or place. With regard to the service rendered to the above-mentioned patients, Ramdas heard from their own lips their deeply grateful and loving words of thanks and praise of Krishna Bai's divine nature. Another fact which cannot go unnoticed is that Gunda, a great and selfless devotee, true to Ramdas' request, remained in the ashram mostly alone all the time that Ramdas was away from it. He now became Ramdas' whole-time attendant. After return from the tour, Ramdas scarcely left the ashram for the town, and gradually the number of visitors also dwindled away, until for the last few months of his stay he was singularly alone in the ashram, except for this loving and faithful friend. About 2 months having thus passed, under peculiar conditions which are not worthwhile to narrate here in detail, as bid by Ramdas went on a month's fast and vow of silence. Of course, he was living on a moderate diet of milk. About this time, he also got an anonymous letter threatening his life if he did not abandon the ashram at once. A fortnight after the beginning of the fast, Vidyacharya, a friend from Sholapur, came down to see him. Vidyacharya was of course very much disappointed that he could not freely discourse with him. Also, he was much pained at the scanty diet on which Ramdas was then living. One night, it might be between 8 and 9 o'clock, Ramdas, Vidyacharya and Gunda were sitting on the outer veranda with a lantern burning in their midst. Vidyacharya and Gunda were deeply absorbed in singing devotional songs. Suddenly, without any notice, Krishna Bai made her appearance. Ramdas exclaimed, "After all, you came," and asked her if she came alone, most of the way from Bombay, where she had gone from Dharwad. She travelled alone with a single cloth and nothing besides. Ramdas concluded by saying, "Mother, you have come to your own home. The ashram shall in future be your permanent place of residence." Thereafter she struck on to the ashram day and night. Vidyacharya left and Gunda also went to Puttur, his native village, for a change. Under instructions from Ramdas, Krishna Bai now started on a course of steady and continuous discipline in meditation and asana. On his advice, she also visited every day 4 or 5 houses of devotees in the town, where she gave the benefit of her presence and service to the devout ladies of the household. Meanwhile, his fast for 1 month had come to a close, but as he was not satisfied with it, he went on a further fast for 3 days, taking only water. Then again he proposed to go even without water. This last absolute fast was observed only for one day, and he had to break it due to the most pathetic appeal from Chandrasekhar Rao, Ramabai's spouse. Therefore, he came to his old diet of one meal a day. Now Ramdas and Krishnabai used to be alone in the ashram in the nights. A fortnight after the breaking of the fast, when Ramdas was busy taking a fair copy of the earlier chapters of this book, and Krishnabai sitting as usual in a posture of meditation on the veranda where she slept for the night, a man of a coarse appearance but of strong build of the working class turned up, a lantern in hand. The time must have been about 10 o'clock. Ramdas came out, leaving his work, and inquired of the visitor as to what he wanted. He replied, "Some friends, possibly from a distant place, have arrived at the bungalow on the top of the hill, and have sent word through me to ask you to go there to meet them." Ramdas' heart, when he heard this, overflowed with love, and he said within himself, "At what a great sacrifice these friends must have come from a long distance, out of their pure longing and love for Ramdas." At once he made up his mind to go up to them. The messenger said that he would remain in the ashram until Ramdas returned. Taking the lantern of the ashram, he started asking Krishnabai to wait until he returned with the friends. But she said she would also like to go with him, and the sturdy messenger, also falling in with Krishnabai's suggestion, expressed his opinion that she might also accompany him. So both walked quickly up the hill and reached the traveller's bungalow. But to their surprise and discomposure, they found that there was nobody waiting for them in the bungalow. Ramdas at once scented some mischief, for the messenger had deliberately remained behind in the ashram during their absence. Now both quickly retraced their steps to the ashram. On reaching the place, they found that the messenger with his lantern had disappeared. On going up the veranda, they further saw a quantity of night soil splashed at the entrance of the room and a number of pieces of a broken earthen pot. This was the work of the nocturnal visitor, for discharging which alone he must have come. Without feeling the least repugnance or disgust, Krishnabai at once fell to task of cleaning the floor. She actually cleaned the floor with her hands while collecting the rubbish, from which were issuing a most revolting stench. Within half an hour, the place was swept and washed. The beauty of the whole thing was that all the while when she was engaged in this work, she was patient, cheerful, and smiling. Ramdas, on entering the room, found a brass spittoon, which was daily used by him, had alone been taken away, and a few drops of the night soil had disfigured the manuscript of this narrative. The night passed without anything further happening. That's all, folks. Let's continue in the next chapter. Thank you. Bye bye. Rama Rama Puppodu.